Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful, great morning indeed, and a very blessed morning indeed, guys. As you can see, guys, it is extremely, very much gratefully, superly hot than it is exactly after all, and it's completely superly hot. And actually, all this heat and all this warmness is exactly making me sleepy as well. But despite that, guys, I'm exactly successfully here in order to continue to doing more episodes for you guys, and in order for me to continue doing more episodes about the good guys and the bad guys, and about the ancient sacred world war, sacred galactic conflict war that's exactly been going on for the past few centuries as well. But despite that, guys, I'm superly, totally grateful for you guys viewing my episodes and my long videos as well, and also liking and subscribing as well. It completely means a lot to me. So superly grateful for that, guys. I will never forget this, no matter what, guys. So may God bless you all. On today's episode, we're to speak about a supervillain named Silverface, who is a high-ranking member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, with the sole goal to remaining the sole leaders of the cosmos. And he's also the current leader of another sacred, shadowy international criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness, that wants to restore power to the sacred world and to the sacred universe and to the known worlds and to planet Earth as well. And that works on the behalf of the ancient secretive society known as the Founders as well, to aid them on their respective goals and mission, to make sure that the Founders remain the sole rulers of the cosmos, in the process to furthering their plans and their goals as well. So let's begin. In Silverface's early life, Silverface is actually the older brother of Silver Knight, who is also the current partner of the Founders many years ago as well, that they managed to join forces together to aiding the Founders on their respective goals as well, with the secretive ancient group of the supervillains. Together in doing so, Silverface and his brother Silver Knight exactly were raised by the current Silver Knight, who was their current father in their home planet known as Planet Silver many centuries ago. During at that time, Silverface and Silver Knight trained together in hand-to-hand combat, in tactician, leaderships, marksmanship. Silverface was gratefully fierce and very devoted to the cause and to the rest of his people and to the rest of his people's kind, to be the sole rulers of the other worlds. Silver Knight exactly had a greater ambition than Silverface in order for him to defeat the Black Knight, who was also the greatest adversary throughout the rest of Silver Knight's history, and his people. To this point, Silverface exactly began embarking on his own journey, telling his brother that one way or another that they might exactly need each other to aid each other on their respective goals and mission once he joins a bigger organization and a bigger destiny, and to fulfill a greater destiny and a greater purpose than ever before. That they might exactly need to help each other and aid each other in their respective goals and also in their respective missions. Silver Knight completely agreed with Silverface. Then that's exactly what he's willing to do. As Silver Knight reassured Silverface that the resources of his empire are also the resources of Silverface for him to use in any way he kind of see fit as well. To this point, the two brothers completely shake hands as each of them continue to going on their separate paths and on their separate missions to fulfill their objectives and also their righteous destiny and their objectives and their purpose throughout the rest of the sacred world, while Silver Knight began taking charge of the Silver Empire that his father has mysteriously passed away, allowing him to take leadership of the empire. In doing so, Silverface marked and traveled throughout the sacred world and the known worlds, where he began a merciless reputation and forging a reputation of himself, becoming a masked serial deadly assassin and also a super criminal who is quietly feared and revered to his reputation. Silverface killed and threatened any other alien criminals and criminal lords and the other Four Nation hunters who posed a threat to his greater interest, and he decided to make an example out of all of them, which he specifically exactly did as well. And he completely killed them, marking the territory of the Silver Empire for them to beginning conquering and ruling other worlds and other civilizations in the process to expanding the empire's borders, and reign and regency across the known worlds and across the magical worlds in the process as well. Despite this, Silverface was very, very highly ambitious as he even reached to his primary location known as planet Earth, where he began his greatest reputation as a super villain and as a super criminal as well, where he began competing up against his top competitor such as Golden Knight, Red Knight, and Ghost Master as well, which he began competing up against those super criminals and those super villains in order for him to rise to his ascendancy. He had to compete against them. Despite this, Silverface successfully rose to the occasion as he managed to compete against his top competitors in the sacred criminal underworld, where his reputation became anonymous and heard from, feared and revered throughout the process for many, many years, especially inside the human world's criminal world and the sacred world's criminal underworld as well. He became feared and very much quietly revered for his deadliest abilities and his greatest combos as well in the process. Over the following years, Silverface managed to maintain his usual bases of operation as well as his central headquarters within his anonymous bases of operation. To this point, he slightly began rising to the occasion and ascendancy as well in the process, where he began his primary objectives and goals, where he became the top most gratefully deadliest assassin and super criminal everly feared and everly known throughout the rest of the sacred world and the rest of humanity as well. To this point, Silverface decided it's best for him to lay low rather than not taking action for himself in any other way. On the 15th of January, the founders have the leader and founder of a secretive ancient society known as the Founders managed to dispatch an invitation to Silverface during out the years in order for him to join the organization and also the secret society, and Silverface gladly accepted the organization's invitation, and he gladly reassured the organization that he will exactly aid them and assist them in any way he can, especially now that he's a high-ranking member, that he has resources for the organization for them as well to utilize. The Dark King and Dark Grey were very, very pleased that their plans can now start taking place to further their own common interests and their common goals and their primary objectives of the sinister agenda towards the Universal Heroes and towards the Intergalactic Coalition as well. On the 29th of January, Silverface began to discover that they are powerful, deadly criminals and very, very formidable villains that are out there in the sacred world, and some that are out there roaming the human world. And he discovered that the only way for them to join forces is for them to completely join the secretive, shadowy international criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness, in order for it to have more powerful, deadliest assassins and mercenaries who can easily assist the founders on their common interests and as well on their common goal as well. On the 15th of February, when the power vacuum of the Shadow Empire was created due to the disappearance of the Universal Heroes who quietly disappeared during the great battle up against the mysterious, unknown, evil force of an enemy, Silverface met up with the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders and representatives on the hidden bases of operation, where they were able to tell Silverface that they'll be able to continue to supplying the founders with more destructive and more highly compatible technology, which is still part of the deal, and it will also still remain as well part of the deal. And Silverface was very completely glad and very, very, very successfully happy that things are gladly taking place the way they're supposed to be as well. Between March and April, when Master Bond successfully resigned from the secretive society and resigned his leadership from the Order of Darkness, the founders chose Silverface to become the current leader of the Order of Darkness and to become the new high-ranking member of the organization, which between the 2 years that Master Bond has quietly resigned, the founders replaced his leadership with Silverface's leadership, and Silverface became the high-ranking leader, the new leader of the Order of Darkness that will continue working on the behalf of the founders as well, and that will continue benefiting its goals for the founders' objectives and goals as well in the process as well. Despite this, Silverface was very completely happy that he was gladly accepted to his ranks and that he successfully rose to the ranks and proven himself a worthy candidate to taking this high, huge responsibility to leading the terrorist organization in a new direction that will soon exactly benefit the founders in their common interests and in their common goals, as well as his own common goals and his plans as well in the process to furthering his ultimate ambition and goals as well in the process. Despite this, he gladly took the responsibility and decided to become the new head and leader of the sacred, shadowy international criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness, with the goal and sole purpose to restoring power to the sacred world and to humanity and to the known universe in the process as well. On the 29th of April, Silverface continued beginning training a very powerful supernatural superhuman child, very powerful superhuman child known as Tracy, able to train her in such of a training, able to guide her in a very much of a ruthless, compatible training way in order for her to becoming highly, solely independent to him and to becoming a spy and an informant for the organization and for the founders so that she can infiltrate the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition. Silverface exactly told Tracy that her sole mission and purpose is to the Order of Darkness and that she's a top double agent of the Universal Heroes and of himself as well, to making sure that she successfully reports everything that the Universal Heroes do and what they can successfully exactly do and how they're planning it and how they actually willing to orchestrate all the events and everything else across the rest of sacred existence. And Tracy began to agree that in one condition, that she'll remain loyal to the organization and she'll remain very, very loyal to Silverface and to the rest of his forces as long as his organization and the rest of his masters don't move towards her people and her kind. And Silverface agreed to those conditions as well as she agreed to Silverface's condition to serve him mercilessly and to provide him with intelligence and information that can help the organization furthering its plans and to be one step ahead of the Universal Heroes and one step ahead of the Universal Heroes and of the Intergalactic Coalition in the process as well. And they both agreed on the terms of their new agreement and deal as well in that process. On the 20th of May, Silverface completely exactly created a holographic hologram of the members of the Order of Darkness in his sacred labyrinth cave, where he completely told each member that their plans and purposes and missions still holds purpose and that the organization's goals have to be completed at any different cost and that they have to do whatever it takes to make sure that those plans successfully bear fruit no matter what, despite the terms of everything else. Every assignment and every mission has to be displaced by the way it's supposed to be. The members of the Order of Darkness completely agreed on that, and they all successfully agreed that they completely fulfilled their objectivity and their mission. Shadow Skull, Master Power, Warlight, and all the other members who have been heavily recruited all agreed to that they'll successfully fulfill their objectivities and their mission as well. Despite that, Silverface was actually meeting with each member of the Order of Darkness in total secrecy, where they can easily speak about their plans and their goals and their objectivity in their own private way, explaining their motives and their agenda to Silverface, who's the leader of the Order of Darkness as well. On the 15th of June, Silverface completely attended a video conference of the members of the founders, where the Dark King exactly told the members of the founders that the preparation and the planning are successfully taking place and that the sacred galactic war has begun exactly raining down, meaning that the new Lord of Magic is already arising and ascending in power, and that him taking out and removing the Universal Heroes out of the way could benefit them in many numerous ways. Despite this, Queen Ivy exactly also alerted the Dark King that the alliance between the Universal Prince and Red Bolt and the Star Prince is becoming too much powerful, that three most powerful adversaries now joining forces all together to aid each other on their respective goals and mission, they could destroy them all and annihilate them all at once. This due to their resources being limited and being used for greater evil and for the greater evil as well. The Dark King exactly reassured the members of the Order of Darkness that the alliance between the Order of the 12 and Dark Star and the Dark Order has already benefited them in numerous ways, and that the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition will cripple these ancient secret societies and these organizations and the Star Empire and the Universal Prince and Red Bolt's operation in a process which they will benefit from the downfall of their competitors being brought down to their knees, which will soon substantially exactly benefit them from their downfall, making them the sole correctable rulers of the cosmos as well. As the members of the Order of Darkness were completely exactly reassured, Silverface was exactly completely satisfied that the members of the Order, that the members of the Founders are completely exactly reassured of the plans and of the steps as well. On the 20th of July, Silverface completely exactly received a text from Tracy telling her that the plans and preparation have been gladly been able to take place and that the operation is gladly moving according to plan, the way it's intended to be. And Silverface was very happy that Tracy is completing her objectivity and her goal as well in the process. On the 10th of August, Silverface held up a video conference with the members of the Order of Darkness where he began to reassure them that the plans and everything else was successfully taking place, and he told each member of the Order of Darkness to literally proceed on their true objectives and on their mission, as he began to reassure them that the steps and planning have been taken into place and that the inside spy and operative has already shed some light on information that could exactly help them and that could successfully prove very useful to taking down the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition in the process and out of the way for good. As the members of the Order of Darkness have been exactly reassured of that, they all agreed that it's time for them to fulfill their respective objectivities and their mission as well in the process. On the 20th of August, Silverface completely met up with Master Power and Shadow Skull and Warlight on the central headquarters of the Order of Darkness, on the central headquarters of the Order of Darkness, on the Order of Darkness's basis of operation, which was exactly Sacred Valley, which is an island where the assassins and mercenaries can exactly train. And he exactly reassured his associates that everything else is beginning to take place the way it's supposed to be, and that the plans are successfully beginning to light up the way. Shadow Skull exactly reassured Silverface that every resources that he has been utilized for the Founders, for them to successfully use and for them to successfully use it whatever way they see fit. Meaning, in other words, the plans can successfully begin taking place. And Silverface was very glad that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. On the 15th of September, the members of the Founders secretly convened on an ancient Dark Crystal temple where Queen Ivy began to ask the Dark King are all the preparations set for them to begin their plans and their goals that have been taking place without any further interference or anything else that can precisely happen. The Dark King reassured Queen Ivy that everything else is going according to plan and that the situation will go the way it's intended to be as well. On the 16th of September, the members of the Founders reconvene again on the same location, which was a Dark Crystal ancient temple, where Queen Ivy learned that the Universal Heroes and the World Heroes are secretly coordinating with one another, and that makes them very completely dangerous, as well as the other members of the Founders completely expose themselves and relying about their concern, stated that the Universal Heroes have gladly interfered with their operations and with their successful plans. Dark Grey exactly reassured the members of the Founders that they will never again underestimate the Universal Heroes or their abilities in building their operation or their goals, and that despite that, they learned the hard way that heroes like these can exactly make them pay the ultimate price in a very difficult way, which it cannot exactly happen to them ever again. Despite that, Silverface completely revealed himself towards the light, with the other members who begin to exposing themselves to the light and revealing themselves again, and exactly making sure that the members of the founders are completely well aware that they are all in this together and that they can take down their common enemy and their common interest as one as well, in order to further their goals and their interests and their respective goals and their missions and their greatest activities in one furrow soup as well. Despite that, Silverface exactly reassured the members of the founders that he has a plan in place and that everything else will go accordingly the way it's meant to be as well. On the 20th of October, Silverface completely received a text from Tracy telling her that all the preparations and everything else had been set and that the Universal Heroes have gladly managed to recruit other members of the Resistance and that everything else is going according to plan. She asked if she can exactly take action. Silverface completely told her that there's no need for her to take action, not exactly yet, that she has to wait for the perfect time and for the perfect moment in order for her to exactly strike. But her timing will exactly come one way or another. On the 19th of November, Silverface was completely exactly able to remain on his central headquarters of his basis of operation, as well as was able to completely receive a text from Tracy telling her that the Universal Heroes and the rest of their forces are completely coming up with a plan in order to disband the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders operation from destroying worlds and planets. And Silverface was completely reluctantly happy that things are finally going according to plan, the way they intended to be as well. Meaning, in other words, the founders could benefit from this as well. On the 22 of December, on the 22 of December, Silverface completely exactly received a very much of a text from Tracy telling her that the timing for them to act is quietly right now, or should she exactly wait for the perfect timing. Silverface exactly told Tracy in order to wait a little bit longer for the right time in order for her to strike. When that time exactly comes, she will exactly able to strike. But right now she needs to wait for her time in order for her to make the final move. But in the meantime, she should completely providing information that could be very useful to the organization and to his bosses as well. On the 15th of January, Silverface completely attended a video conference of the members of the founders where Doc Gray exactly told them that everything else has begun taking place the way it's supposed to be and that the operation is successfully headed on its way. Silverface exactly began to reassuring the members of the founders that everything else is beginning exactly taking place the way it's supposed to be and that his spy and his inside operative is ready to proceed on the next objectives of their common goal. Mr. X exactly told the members of the founders that they should exactly plan a decisive and very much destructive way in order to neutralize the threat and cripple the forces of evil that are also standing in the way of their common interest, which could never benefit them in many, many numerous ways. Despite this, the Dark King completely agreed with Mr. X as because of the Universal Heroes pose a greater threat and a greater obstacle to their goals and to their common interests, which they all successfully agreed on that. Despite that, Dark Gray began to exactly reassure the members of the founders that their planning and everything else has been orchestrated the way it's supposed to be, and that the downfall of the members of the Order of the 12 and the members of Dark Star and the members of the Dark Order will benefit the founders in return, which will still make sure that they remain the sole rulers, and it's a win either way. Whether they're being defeated by the Universal Heroes or by them, it's still a win either way, because they will soon exactly benefit from their downfall and they will soon exactly still remain the sole rulers of the cosmos. And the members of the founders were completely reassured of that as well as Silverface. On the 15th of February, Silverface completely met up with Tracy outside the streets of Los Angeles as he began to question her loyalties and also intelligence, telling her that he hasn't exactly received a report from her since last year of January. Tracy exactly told Silverface that the information and everything else has been quietly going wrong since the uprising and all the chaos and everything else has been happening for the past few months and years has been taking greater place, and that the Universal Heroes are good heroes and that they'll never betray each other or exactly hurt each other. Silverface exactly told Tracy that she needs to face the harsh reality of the Universal Heroes and of the members of the Intergalactic Coalition, that the new Lord of Magic has managed to compromise and put his influence through the organization's goals and purpose. In doing so, managed to turn the Four Nation Hunters against them. Meaning, in other words, she has to be very careful, or otherwise she'll end up just like the rest of the other heroes who ended up becoming the bad guys. Despite this, Tracy felt quietly very much uneasy as she began to develop, as she began to believe in Silverface's warnings and his warnings and his aggression as well, and his truth about the reality of the Universal Heroes as well. On the 15th of March, Silverface completely convened with the members of the founders on the X Corp buildings, where the other members of the founders were completely on a video conference, were completely on a video audience, and Mr. X was completely standing right next to him as the members of the founders completely began to agree on a final objectivity that they should proceed with the final plan. The Dark King exactly told Mr. X that if they exactly begin to take this plan could alter the course of the sacred world's history forever and entirely, and it could shift the superhuman history world forever, and it could exactly place the balance of it could exactly replace the cosmic balance of power in a very destructive way, which could benefit many powerful, dangerous competitors or powerful, sinister forces of evil who are also willing to gain this new power and this new activity of controlling and conquering the known universe and the other known worlds of the sacred world and of the sacred universe in the process. Despite this, Silverface exactly told the members of the founders that's the sole purpose of the plan, and they're willing to pay the ultimate price, whether it empowers the Universal Prince or the new Lord of Magic. Either way, it'll still pave a way for both forces of evil to remain in power, or for the other to face its reckoning of downfall. The Dark King completely agreed that it's worth the sacrifice in order for them to make this ultimate, and it's worth the sacrifice in order for them to actually benefit from this. Exposing they spy and they mole is the only way for them to solely place their control over humanity and manipulating events from behind the scenes, which will further the founders' goal and purpose and mission of the organization as well. Mr. X completely agreed with the rest of the other founders and asked for their vote, as they all completely agreed that it's worth the sacrifice, and Mr. X exactly said, then it's been adjourned, that the vote has been decided, and he told Mr. Silverface to proceed on with the operation to making sure that everything else will go successfully according to plan, which it completely exactly did. On the 20th of April, the members of the founders completely attended another video conference where the Dark King exactly told the members of the founders that the operation successfully exactly benefited them in numerous ways, as they're still in power and in control, and that their partnership with Silver Knight still remains intact, as they still share a common interest and a common goal, which makes their partnership very much highly intouchable and also intactable, now that their common interest has been furthered and that their common goal has now been put to the test. Silverface also told the members of the founders that the Order of Darkness's resources are still there in order for them to use. And Mr. X exactly told the members of the founders that the operation and their future long-term plans and goals can now proceed according to plan, the way they were planned it many centuries ago by the Dark King and as well by Dark Grey. Dark King and the Dark Grey were very successful pieces, that they have to keep their eye on the prize and on the goal and on the objectivity, because the Sacred Galactic War might be taking a darker turn for the worse or for the greater evil, which could benefit them in many numerous ways, and it could determine the sole ruler and leader of the sacred world and of the sacred universe as well. As all the members of the founders completely agreed with this, and they all agreed that this mission and the top priority of the mission and the organization's purpose and destinies will finally be realized through the actions of the Universal Heroes as well. On the 20th of May, Silverface completely returned to his home planet to Silver Knight, as he told him the founders have completely agreed to the terms of the deal and that the partnership still remains intact, as he told his brother that. And Silver Knight was very successfully, very happy to making sure that his association with the organization also benefits his empire and the rest of his people, as that they do exactly share a common goal. And Silver Knight exactly told Silverface it's time for them to take the war straightly into the intergalactic coalition so that they can exactly determine the sole ruler of the cosmos, and that his war with the Black Knight will still wage on. Either way, two forces of evil can't rule the universe. One of each will have to go. And it's either the Star Prince or the Universal Prince or Red Bolt or the new Lord of Magic or the other new Lord of Magic known as Lord Clay, or the members of the Order of the Five or Order of the Six or the Galactic or the Unholy Alliance or Sacred Five or the Sacred Circle or the other ancient groups will have to go, and the universal heroes will have to be used as pawns in order to disband these ancient groups and these other terrorist groups, which is more likely the very much powerful price for them to pay, then so be it. And Silverface completely shook hands with his brother Silver Knight and exactly told him then it's time for them to proceed with their plans and with their greatest objectivity as well. Despite this, guys, Silverface is completely very much ruthless and very much ambitious, intelligent, very much greater and deadliest assassin, the greatest arch nemesis of the Universal Heroes, and the greatest arch nemesis of Firebird and Universal Man and the members of the United Heroes. Despite this, the Universal Heroes have never faced such a greater threat and a greater opponent such as Silverface, who's very, very ambitious and very, very highly skilled tactician and a strategist who works behind the scenes and the shadows. He's a high-ranking member of a secretive organization known as the Founders, with a sole goal and purpose and reason to remaining the sole rulers of humanity and of the rest of the cosmos as well. Despite this, he makes sure that the organization's goals successfully bear fruit as long as he can benefit from the organization's resources and goals. And he is the current leader of a secret shadowy international criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness, the one that I previously told you about. He is the current leader of that, and he utilizes its greatest resources so that the Founders can create fear, manipulation, chaos, and destruction upon the sacred world, upon the known worlds of the known universe, so that they can remain the sole rulers of the rest of the known universe. Despite this, he's very ruthless, very intelligent, incredibly smart, clever, very smart tactician, strategist, organizing, manipulating events as the other masters, as the other bigger super criminals, and joining forces with the other powerful, formidable criminals such as the members of the Founders, and aiding them on their respective goals and mission, and in utilizing their resources. He's completely ruthless, devoted, and very, very well trained in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, marksmanship, and guns, daggers, and blades, very enhanced with super speed, super strength, enchanted senses, and enhanced abilities, and sensory abilities, and super hearing, and very, very skilled in hand-to-hand combat and in leadership as well. Very ruthless and very ambitious and very patient with his enemies, and very, very well calculated, and a very good strategist, organizing, manipulating events from behind the scenes, which can easily benefit the secret society that he's completely exactly managed to join forces with, known as the Founders. He even forms powerful, formidable, secretive alliances with powerful criminals such as the members of the Founders in order to aid each other. They all aid each other on their respective common interests and on their goals, which can easily benefit them all together, and they combine their resources for their ultimate goals and plans to controlling and manipulating the events from humanity's disasters, tragedies, events that have been taking place and that can easily change sacred histories, futures, and wars from behind the scenes, which could alter human history forever, and that could also exactly make sure that they remain the sole rulers of the cosmos as well. Despite this, Silverface learns the hard way to never again underestimate the Universal Heroes or the members of the Intergalactic Coalition and the Four Nation Hunters' abilities and their greatest abilities in thwarting his operation and his successful plans Due to this and due to his longevity, he believes himself he's destined to lead mankind and the rest of humanity to a glorious future where without the supernaturals or aliens or superhumans standing in a way. He also believes in the goal of the new and of the new original Lord of Magic, who became the most powerful ancient supernatural hybrid creature that has existed for many centuries and in ancient times. Despite this, he believes in his goal in exterminating and in enlightening in also in the annihilation of the supernaturals, aliens, and superhumans of the Four Nation Hunters, which he believes could benefit the founders and the Order of Darkness's goals in restoring power and control back to humanity and to the sacred worlds and to the other worlds, as long as the founders remain the sole rulers of the cosmos. He's solely devoted and very well respected to his mission and to his objective, very, very patient with his enemies, and very skilled in disappearing and reappearing at will, and reappearing at will from the shadows, and also reappearing at will from the shadows, and also reappearing at will from the shadows, and disappearing at will as well from the shadows. Maintains his usual bases of operation as well as his central headquarters, such as Sacred Valley, which is a huge island composed of which is a huge island and is the central headquarters of a sacred shadowy international criminal organization known as the Order of Darkness, which is currently led by Silverface himself as well, and is a high-ranking member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, who believe that they are destined to remain the sole rulers of the cosmos and who are behind massive events and manipulating events, wars, conflicts, anything that could benefit them in the process as well, including the power vacuum of the Shadow Empire, which the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have secretly formed alliances with the founders and with Silverface and with the sacred terrorist organization known as the Order of Darkness. Despite this, Silverface is very ambitious, very intelligent, very quick of a multitasker, and very wise and very patient with his enemies and foes, and he's very skilled in deception and in manipulation, and he's a very powerful, bigger super criminal, competitive against his greatest adversaries known as Ghostmaster, Golden Knight, and Red Knight, who also Ghostmaster is not exactly highly very much ambitious. Golden Knight, on the other hand, and Red Knight are two high-ranking members of another ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five, which decides the fate of humanity. And they are also very competitive against Silverface and against Ghostmaster, which the greatest assassins and mercenaries and supervillains have been competing against each other since the beginning and throughout the following years, making sure that they all remain in power and in control. Despite this, Silverface will utilize the resources of the Shadow Empire warlords and commanders in order for them to benefit the organization's goals and purpose and mission as well in the process. Despite this, Silverface will make sure that the founders remain in power and in control over humanity and over the hidden world and the hidden universe known as a sacred world and known as a sacred universe, as long as they benefit from controlling it and from ruling it with an iron fist and with greatest authority. Despite this, he will further his own interests and his common goals so that he can also remain the sole ruler and leader of mankind and of the rest of the known worlds of the sacred worlds and the rest of the known worlds of the sacred world and of the sacred universe and of the known universe. He's highly skilled in manipulation, deception, very devoted and very well ambitious and very ambitious, dangerous, deadliest criminal. According to the Four Nation Hunter database, Silverface is one of the worst, deadliest, most powerful, formidable foe that the Four Nation Hunters have encountered during out their past years and life and centuries, since they never come across against such a deadly experienced enemy and a foe, and a deadly marksmanship and a deadly assassin and a leader, very great in sniper division in attacking and also killing his enemies in one fell swoop, and very skilled in espionage and in top secret missions and in assignments. hired to kill and hired to assassinate. Silverface is one of the worst and greatest formidable foes that the Four Nation Hunters have faced throughout the Sacred World and as well of the Universal Heroes. Powerful, deadly, very ambitious, dangerous, committed to his cause and to his organization's beliefs and mission and purpose and mission and purpose and destiny, and is willing to make sure that its long-term plans successfully bear fruit as long as it wipes out the Intergalactic Coalition and the Universal Heroes out of the way. He's completely ruthless, merciless, very ambitious, smart, tactical, very strategic, and very tactician himself. Very smart and very, very, very powerful and clever enough to form formidable alliances with other powerful criminals and deadly associates of assassins and mercenaries who as well are members of the Order of Darkness and who too have different goals and different missions and different perspectivities of their long-term plans goals as well. Despite this, they all benefit from each other's goals and mission, and they all cooperate well and work together as one, as long as they benefit from their common interest and from their common goal. And Silverface is the current leader of the Order of Darkness and a current member of a secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. Highly skilled in deception, very ruthless, merciless, very, very, very ruthless, and very ambitious. Due to his superhuman powers and to his long gravity, he's very, 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 very skilled and very, very highly intelligent. Not meant to be underestimated and not meant to be taken lightly. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll exactly see you tomorrow on Wednesday. Have a wonderful, great day and a very, very wonderful, blessed, great day indeed. Enjoy yourself and thank you for your support in viewing and in watching my episodes. Keep doing so. Like and subscribe and have a wonderful, great, great day indeed and an afternoon and a morning as well. May God bless you all. Take care. See you tomorrow. Bye.